The screen erupts in a visual thunderstorm of red alert overlays and rapid satellite scans. Sirens scream, lights flash. A tempest of urgency floods the screen, dragging viewers into the eye of a storm that has just begun to rage. This isn't fiction. This isn't a drill. This is war posturing in real time, and it begins with steel wings slicing through tension-thick air. The A-10 Warthogs, infamous, brutal, and battle-hardened, are not casually deployed. When these low-flying tank slayers ignite their twin engines and roar into the sky, the world pays attention. These are not sleek stealth birds designed for evasion. No, these beasts welcome confrontation. They're the ones sent when subtlety is no longer an option. The words "breaking now" flash like a thunderclap across the screen, signaling not just news, but a seismic shift in operational tempo. Somewhere in a classified chamber, a threat was uncovered. Houthi activity, brazen and strategic, had crossed an invisible line. One intercepted transmission, one high-level command, one unstoppable response. Then, launch. The airbase transforms into a theater of power. Crews sprint, lights flash. The unmistakable swirl of a JB-8 Avenger cannon is now airborne, bolted beneath a warplane that lives to unleash it. This is the moment the United States declares without speaking that provocation has a cost, and it will be delivered at 300 knots, with smoke trails, titanium armor, and a fury honed over decades. This is escalation in motion, precision wrapped in thunder, and it's only just begun. Inside the command center, tension ignites like a fuse. Monitors glow with eerie light, each screen a window into potential catastrophe. Urgent radio chatter crackles, fractured voices relaying codes, trajectories, unknown threats. Then, blips, dozens of them, darting near the Red Sea like phantom sharks circling prey. 0200 hours. The time forever etched into the logbooks of urgency. A classified alert explodes onto the radar. Missile launch preparations, originating deep within hostile Yemeni territory. Not a drill, not a simulation. Real and imminent. Eyes lock onto the data. Analysts whisper, then shout. Coordinated chaos floods the room. The Pentagon is notified. There is no hesitation, just cold, calculated action. The directive hits like a thunderclap. Scramble the Warthogs, lock the theater down. Cut to the tarmac, a pulse-pounding montage of movement. A-10 pilots, battle-forged and adrenaline-fueled, spark like their boots are on fire. One slams a helmet onto his head with brutal finality. Another pauses, tapping a worn photograph on his dashboard. Perhaps a family, a memory, a reason to fly harder, faster. No briefings, no test runs, only raw instinct and mission muscle. These aren't just sorties. They are real-time retaliatory posture, wings of steel rising to answer a faceless threat. The Warthogs, with their unmistakable roar, pierce the dawn sky. Their engines scream a message. America has eyes on the target, and its fury is airborne. This is no rehearsal. This is war, creeping to the edge of ignition, and the A-10s are already in motion. The tarmac shakes. A wall of thunder rips across the base as afterburners ignite like controlled detonations. Smoke churns from the ground in thick, coiling tendrils, choking the air with the scent of fuel, fire, and fury. These are not graceful ascents. These are brute force launches. And the Warthogs? They don't take off. They charge. Steel monsters born for war lurch forward in perfect unison, each one a juggernaut clad in armor and bristling with weaponry. Their engines scream, not with finesse, but with wrath. Wheels lift, gear retracts. In a matter of seconds, a formation of flying sledgehammers tears through the sky, leaving only dust, flame, and awe in their wake. Close up now, pilot POV. The cockpit hums with tension. Fingers dance over switches. A HUD flickers to life, crosshairs steady and poised. Outside the canopy, the desert blurs by at terrifying speed. This isn't altitude warfare. This is knife fight distance. The A-10 Hog doesn't soar. it stalks. At treetop level, these machines cut beneath radar, using terrain as camouflage, hugging every ridge and ravine like shadows with wings. There is no higher calling here, only deadly precision and unrelenting purpose. Their weapon, a 30mm Avenger cannon that spits liberation one thunderous burst at a time. Each round they fire is a message, not in words, but in devastation. You will not threaten. You will not advance. These aren't aircraft. They are Wrath-made airborne, and they are already on the hunt. The silence of space is shattered as satellite feeds unveil the threat. Blurred outlines of launcher vehicles nestled dangerously close to civilian structures. Cold, clinical, calculated. The Houthis were playing a high-stakes game, hiding heat behind human shields, hoping hesitation would follow. But they miscalculated. The hammer dropped faster than anyone imagined. Intelligence poured in like floodwater, real-time, raw, and ruthless. CENTCOM analysts traced patterns, cross-referenced signals, and uncovered the ploy. Surface-to-air systems primed for ambush. The intent was insidious. Draw in Western aircraft, force a tragic mistake. But this wasn't just any aircraft response. This was the A-10 Warthog. 12 minutes. That's all it took. 12 minutes from detection to domination. Dozens of Warthogs screamed into the threat corridor, low and lethal, their silhouettes barely above the desert floor. HUDs lit up. Heat signatures popped. Coordinates matched. The machines locked in. And here's the truth the Houthis didn't expect. This wasn't about bluffing. This was about breaking the cycle of provocation. This wasn't just deterrence. It was presence sharpened into precision, posture backed by firepower, and discipline fueled by righteous intent. Engage if needed, show the line, and stand ready to cross it. The Warthogs didn't hesitate. They hovered on the edge of chaos, one trigger pull away from rewriting the battlefield. The desert sky trembled with tension. Tactical maps flickered like nervous pulses. Each line, each dot, a harbinger of chaos. Radio chatter pierced the static, requesting positive ID, possible hostile movement, confirm ASAP. Every syllable from ground control cracked through the cockpit like the countdown to calamity. Above it all, the A-10s loomed like vultures on the edge of war, stoic, patient, brutal if provoked. Just outside the kill zone, they floated in a storm of variables. Intel changed with each breath. Were launchers powering up? Were missile tubes locking on? No one knew, but everyone felt it. One wrong press, one false signature. That's all it would take to ignite a flashpoint of international proportions. And yet, steel nerves held. These were no ordinary pilots. They were tacticians of restraint, gladiators of the skies, trained not just to strike, but to wait with the patience of predators. Suddenly, locked, a pilot slams into a hard bank. Terrain blurs, G-forces compress ribs. Flares burst out like molten lightning, wild, furious, defiant. This wasn't retreat. It was precision under fire. The Warthogs twisted through the air with lethal grace. Not just evading, outsmarting, recalibrating, preparing to strike back. This was no accident. This was war, held back by a hair trigger. In that single breath, the temperature of tension dropped. The enemy froze. The Houthis blinked first. Their launch halted. Their sights, once bristling with threat, fell cold, powered down in silent defeat. No shots fired, no bombs released. Just the relentless stare of American steel hovering overhead, daring them to make the wrong move. This wasn't just a return, it was a statement. These aircraft, forged for war, came back without firing a single round. And yet, they delivered the most powerful message of all: resolve, readiness, the ability to act, not recklessly, but righteously. They carry more than bullets and bombs. They carry the weight of responsibility, the gravity of deterrence, and the unmistakable promise that America doesn't rattle satyrs. It doesn't posture. It doesn't provoke. America doesn't threaten. It prepares. And when the line is crossed, it answers. Not in fury, but in force. Not in words, but in action. This is what unmatched readiness looks like. And today, it was enough. Tonight, the skies over the Middle East were more than a backdrop to flight. They became a theater of power, restraint, and unshakable intent. These weren't just aircraft returning home. They were emissaries of strategy, velocity, and unyielding will. The A-10 Warthogs, thunderbirds of precision, didn't just deploy, they declared. They reminded all who watched, from distant command centers to enemy radar screens, that deterrence isn't written in treaties. It echoes in afterburners. It flickers in the shadow of war machines. It's the sound of readiness circling just outside your reach, and the roar that never needs to land a punch to make its mark. They train for war, not to wage it, but to prevent it. Each drill, each sortie, each silent flight over hostile terrain is a promise to their country and to the world. We stand ready, so peace may stand longer. And tonight, against the odds, under pressure and beneath the weight of global tension, peace held. Would you feel safe knowing these beasts, these flying fortresses of fury, are patrolling the skies above you, watching, waiting, shielding the silence with sheer power? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We want to hear from you. And don't forget, like, subscribe, and smash that notification bell so you never miss a single mission, a single roar, a single glimpse into the steel nerves and skyborne giants that define America's air dominance. This is Eagle Takedown, where war machines speak louder than words.